Recording in progress.
I don't see Commissioner Pickering yet.
I think she was just coming.
Okay.
I'm here. Oh, no. Well, there you are. We just don't see you. Oh, there you are now. Wasn't sure if you were going to come back on.
Sir? Director Wong, it's time, sir.
Madam President, Commissioners, good morning. It is now 11:30.
Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to our pre-commission meeting, and we will go ahead and start with any general housekeeping items that any commissioner would like to bring up. All right, seeing none. Any discussion or comments, concerns about the agenda? No, seeing none. Director Wong, that was quick. Right back to you.
Thank you. Again, Commissioners, good morning. Several things to share with you today. First off, on Friday, I was out with the 366 Fighter Wing. I was at their honorary commander induction ceremony, and the wing commander there wanted me to pass on to all of you his tremendous appreciation for Commuter Ride. They absolutely love the service, and he has asked how we can increase the support for Mountain Home. I've asked him to call our Commuter Ride folks and have those discussions, but he loves Club Red, something fierce. Earlier this morning, I was also out at the Guards training range and such. Today, or at 10 o'clock, Major General Garshak was hosting a ribbon cutting ceremony for what has got to be, according to that group out there, the country's largest, if not one of two of the largest deployment areas for rail. It is absolutely amazing what they built out there, and he wanted me to send his best to all of you at the commission. So, good event across the board. Commissioner May has in front of her the American Society of Civil Engineers Outstanding Civil Engineering Achievement Award for the Eagle and Emily Road Roundabout Project of the Year. We received that earlier this week. It'll be placed in a very great place here at ACHD for all to go to look at, but that's just a tremendous recognition of the great partnership we have with not only cities, but contractors, design teams, and of course our team that made that possible. That really is a big deal.
That is exceptional. Congratulations. This is great.
In front of you, you have the monthly impact fee report, and you also have in front of you the Avamore Annexation and Rezone Staff Report. As I shared with all of you on Monday and such, this was an application only for 18,000 acres to be rezoned out at Eagle. Now, our staff does not include any recommendation in these nor site-specific requirements of approval. We only list out policies that will be relevant to future development applications if the city of Eagle annexes the land. So at the end of the day, this is more of an information package for all of you. If anything does come forward, and if there are any formal positions across the board, they will all come in front of you for your determination and such going forward. But we want to make sure that you had that package to through.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanson?
Madam President, and thanks, Director. I really appreciate this. It's a good heads up because it also shows that it looks like more than half of that whole development's in Boise County. So the city of Eagle can annex into another county, but we can't do anything in another county. And there's no there's no pending agreement like there is with Bogus Basin or that area to do,
Madam
Any
President,
kind of-
Commissioner Hanson, you are correct.
okay, so that'd have to be a completely separate,
But if
yeah.
something comes forward, we'll have it in front of you immediately, for your direction, and then at the appropriate times, your decision, moving
And
forward.
Boise County has a countywide highway district, right?
Right.
Madam President,
Commissioner Pickering.
yeah, Director Wong, on that note too, thank you for sending it out to all of us and me ahead of time as well. I really, really appreciate that. Could you just, I'm not familiar with this type of process, with us and annexation and all of that good stuff. So is there ever like a work session in the future that we talk about it? Or do we mostly just kind of, you just send us documentation? Is there ever any type of conversation that we have with the City of Eagle? I'm just wondering what other timeline pieces, help us with this conversation moving forward, if and when that does move forward.
Madam President, Commissioner Pickering, great question, great to see you, and such. We actually did that. However, we will do it again, as just as a refresher for the commissions, but that is our standard practice. Come in front of all of you, work sessions, give you a heads up on these types of big annexation issues, and then carry whatever direction you have back to those groups. But we will do that.
Okay, and then again, just a very ignorant question, but as Eagle is having these conversations with Avamore, they aren't, like, they can't promise that we're going to take ownership of these roads, correct? Because they have to go through us, right? Like that conversation, they can't have that until we agree to that, right?
If everything was perfect, yes, ma'am, that would be a true statement. I'm confident that discussions do go on, but our staff is very good at ensuring that the commission is well aware, and you do have the final on any type of transportation decisions, directions, recommendations, or requirements that you will put down.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Director.
Very good.
Just sort of an interesting sideline here. As you know, we watch carefully all the traffic and stuff that's going on all of our roads. Gary Inselman's team recently did what they call the county line counts. In other words, what the traffic is on roads on the county lines coming into Ada County. And the last one, it was just a couple of years ago, the increase is probably not surprising. For instance, McMillan Road, 35% increase over last count. Houston, 26%. Lake Hazel Road, 40% increase. Overall, total about a 21% increase of that type of traffic on county lines going forward. So the easy answer would be, let's just blame all of them. But no, that's not the appropriate response. But if you're interested, I have the entire list here, and I'd be more than happy to send it to all of you.
Yeah, if you could do that, I'd like to see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner
I'd like
Goldfarb.
to know how many zeros there are behind the numbers of cars.
As a matter of fact, there is only one road in this entire report that has a zero, and that is the Cuna Road.
Okay.
But
That's gonna change, I'm afraid.
yeah, I will send this all out to you here.
That would be great.
Later today.
All right, thank you.
And such. A couple of things, Commissioners. Today, as we shared with you yesterday, or Monday, is Meridian Public Works Day. We are supporting that as we do every year. 18th September, if you start, if it's not already on your calendar, when Stacy gets back, I'll make sure it is the ACHD Golf Tournament. The recipients this year again is the First Tee of Idaho. And for any of you commissioners that would be willing to be auctioned off to raise funds for the kids and such, that would be greatly appreciated across the board. And then I just confirmed here yesterday, Saturday, December 10th, at the Knitting Factory will be the ACHD Christmas party and such. We are working all the details out. This will be the first major Christmas social event we've had in several years. I'm going to make an assumption that the tickets will go very quickly on this. So that's on the 10th of December. Commissioners, I've instituted a new program here within the district, and that is a monthly look, or not such a rock term, a monthly opportunity for all of our deputy directors to put up one new initiative at the beginning of the month and then have it completed by the end of the month. Again, because small things do count and small things can go into big things. So, for example, we started this in June. The Chief of Staff and General Counsel and Legal, their initiative will be to review all ACHG fee schedules and propose adjustments in today's environment. For HR will finalize and publish the ACHG Team Member Referral Awards Program and such, based on the criteria we've set up to continue to bring new members into the team. For plans and projects, they're going to distribute 3,000 bike maps across Ada County in all official libraries, the little free library stands, 28 bike shops at the Public Works, and on the 24th, the June League of American Bicyclists Certified Instructor Seminar and such. For maintenance, they're going to develop and implement a single dashboard for all fleet procurements with a red, green, yellow status, which greatly increases our transparency and improves effective tracking of where all the pieces and parts are across the board. Communications, they're going to launch ACHD's TikTok account to connect with residents in a brand new way. I see Commissioner Pickering smiling at this. They had to explain that to me, I'm sorry, and such.
There's dancing involved, that's all.
I don't want to go there. Now, they're also going to make an animated video to explain how the project process goes forward. So, as you can see, again, these are not major initiatives compared to all the other things that we're already doing. But again, one step at a time, and a small thing can turn into a big thing. So we'll keep you posted, and you'll have this every month going forward as what the initiative of the month is, and we'll let you know who was successful and who may need a little bit more help.
Very good. Looking forward to it.
There was an interesting article this morning on workforce challenges. And in that article, it was in one of the journals this morning, and according to Ian Siegel, who, as you probably all know, is the CEO of ZipRecruiter, he had some insights that I'd like to share with you. First insight, job seekers are quitting at record numbers. Second, 4 million currently employed people have been quitting their jobs every month for the last 4 months. There are two reasons for this: money and time. Key issues. 40% of people who have changed jobs in the last 6 months went to a company that offers more flexibility. The most searched term on recruiting websites are, quote, remote work, unquote. 62% of job seekers are now saying they want some form of remote work. Job seekers who can work remotely have been said to save 70 minutes a day of their time. Getting up in the morning, getting ready to go, commute. But what I thought was very interesting, that employers who have enabled remote work, which we do, are getting 30 more minutes a day of actual work from the folks that are doing remote work, travel time, back and forth. So I like to put it this way: as you can see, the future of work is now, going forward. So I'm going to be sharing this with HR as we continue to look at our operation across the board, and of course all of our deputy directors. You may see some additional updates and requests from us on how we continue to navigate the Ada County Highway District in today's environment to ensure we are leading the path, not kind of following it or getting off from some legacy operation. Some good news, more good news, I guess I'll call it. As we shared with you earlier, we've been in negotiations with our healthcare providers for some time right now, And we were expecting at least a 70% increase in our healthcare insurance cost. The 70, and as you know, and that was expected. I'm just going to say it that way. After lots of negotiations and some very tough work by the chief of staff and the head of HR, we have landed on 10.2%, which increase, which is truly remarkable and amazing in today's environment.
Madam President,
Commissioner Goldthorpe.
got a question, Bruce. Does this increase reflect the cost of healthcare providers or our claims?
Healthcare providers.
That's what I thought.
Now, we're doing very well.
Yes.
Although, of course, there are a couple of folks here I'm not allowing to go to the doctor anymore because it just costs too much. Right, Chief of Staff?
Well, that's just it. We haven't been going to the doctor and we've been a healthy bunch, so this is a inflation.
Yeah, and so, again, it is an increase, but it is a welcomed increase as opposed to what or the initial reviews from the team. So, as I said, although not unexpected, this does end our 4-year stretch of no increases at all, and we will have recommendations to you during the upcoming budget process as to how funding recommendations for this as we move forward.
That was a pretty good run.
Oh,
Madam President,
Commissioner Goldthorpe.
this is strictly a curiosity question, but I would love to see it. If we could see our premium claim ratio so that we can, I would love to know that just personally because I have a really strong hunch that as we just discussed, this is completely a result of other people jacking up their prices.
Madam President, Commissioner Goldthorpe, we will look into that.
Hey, thanks.
And finally, as today is National Upsy Daisy Day, I have no clue what that is, but it sounds like fun and such. I would like to let you know that as of 11:30 this morning, and I rechecked this again, we have no consent or regular agenda items for next week's commission meeting. None. I know, and to coin a great movie title, and I think some of you have seen it, The Gods Must Be Crazy on this. So as such, I would like to suggest that the commission cancel next week's meeting, giving you more time to prepare for your upcoming 8th Street continued discussions, which is the following week, and your joint meeting with ITD. So with that, that's my director's report.
Well, that's a little bit of good news there. So if that holds, I would have no objection.
So I don't know what Upsy Daisy Day is.
It's been a while since we've done
That's a national
that.
event.
Yeah, we've done that in the past, but there's nothing, any burning desire to come in with nothing on the agenda?
No, but you would then lose your opportunity to have the world's record for the shortest meeting.
Well, there you go. Yeah, what is it, 38 seconds, I think?
38
like
Yeah,
seconds.
John?
Commissioner Frandon.
No, I don't have a problem. I appreciate that. It looks like we'll have a big agenda.
The following week?
Following,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Very
super.
good.
so a number of items, and none of those items, the non-8th Street items can be moved a week up. No, okay.
Nope.
I forgot to ask, would you forward the link to the article on the workforce?
Absolutely.
That'd be really
Yes,
interesting.
that would be
I'd
good for
appreciate
everybody
that.
to have. You bet. You bet. Well, thank you, Director Ong. We'll take it.
So I'm going to take that as you're going to celebrate National Upsy Daisy Downsy Sideways Day, and we'll do it
That's
next
something.
week.
Upsy over oopsie,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll make the appropriate announcements to the world that you won't be meeting next
All
week.
right, thank
Okay,
you.
commissioners, you have about 11 minutes
All right, super.
and such, so thank you all.
Thank you. It's a
Madam President, Commissioners, good afternoon. It's now 12 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Director Wong. Welcome, everyone. If you would please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance.
of the United States and to the republic, one nation.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice.
All right, thank you very much. Our first item is to adopt our agenda.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a commissioner or a citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. All consent agenda items are commission action items unless noted. Is there a motion?
Madam
President?
President? Go ahead.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. All right, first item on our regular agenda, resolution number 2385, vacation of public right-of-way for the city of Boise, Boise Parks and Recreation on North Glenwood Street and West Long Drive, Boise, Idaho. This is a request for adoption and a public hearing, so I will go ahead and open the public hearing. And we will hear first from Ms. Diane Evans. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you, Madam President, Commissioners. Diane Bevins, Manager of Capital Projects, filling in today for Mr. Sudar, who's at a conference. So this is a public hearing and decision briefing for vacation of public right-of-way. We received an application from the city of Boise. The vacation area is 0.166 acres. We have waived the fee and the property will be transferred at no cost because the costs fall within our guidelines of our fee waiver agreement with the city of Boise. Here is a vicinity map of the area with Cole Road just to the right, and Spalding Park.
Madam President,
Commissioner Pickering,
sorry to
Can you hear?
interrupt Diane, but we're not seeing it on our end.
thank you for letting us know. Hold on one sec, see if we can get that fixed. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
here is the vicinity map for those online that couldn't see it originally. I'll move into a closer view. I will remind the commission that this was before you earlier, and they had kind of a cul-de-sac turnaround in this area, and at your request, they have revised that just to be a 90-degree turn there, so the vacation area is a little bit larger than the original. And staff recommendation is to adopt and sign resolution number 2385, authorizing the proposed vacation of public right-of-way as applicants have completed all commission and staff requirements, and I will stand for any questions.
All right, thank you very much, Diane. Commissioners, any questions for Diane? All right.
May I ask you a
Julie,
question?
yeah, Commissioner McKinney.
Mine is just sort of a historical question for my benefit. Why is it that years ago the diversion of Cole Road into Glenwood through Spalding Ranch property, why was that abandoned and not carried through?
Well, Madam President, Mr. McKinney, it was a commission action of the revision to the master street map, if my memory serves me correctly. If anyone's running up to correct me, they may have a better answer, but
You're getting an affirmative nod from
Okay.
Mr. Lucas.
Okay, all right. I have to admit, I look back at that and I think, gee, it sure would have made sense to connect. Anyway, that's water under the bridge, I guess, but I'm just wanting to find out. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Do we have anyone signed up to testify? Mr. Ritchie, come on up. Nice to see you. If you could just go ahead and state your name and address for our record, please.
My name is Wayne Ritchie. I live at 4137 Mountain View. which is the corner of Cole and Mountain View. Some of you remember me from last time I was here, so I'll try not to repeat myself. Mr. McKinney, I love your question because that's why I'm here. Not to repeat, were you here last time I was here?
Not sure.
Okay, well, I'll start over then. I have been to probably 5 ACHD meetings concerning Cole Road hooking up with Glenwood. I've been to probably 3 city meetings concerning this. And this has went on probably the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years when I started researching this. Every time I go to the city council meeting, you'll have to bring that up with ACHD. That's their problem. I come to an ACHD meeting, well, the city's taken over this park. You'll have to go to the city. That's their problem. That's 6, 7 meetings I've been to. Well, it's not our problem. Before I moved into where I live there on the corner, Mountain View and Cole Road, that whole section was redone. At that time, the people that lived there were promised Cole Road will hook up with Glenwood. There used to be a sign on the end of Glenwood. Eventually, this road will go through. That little street is actually called Glenwood. The infrastructure, the stoplights, the sidewalks, everything on Cole or on Glenwood and Mountain View is already there to put Glenwood through. Actually, police about this little corridor right there. It's dangerous. It's a horrible section of town. It's a bottleneck all the time. And the reason I object to getting rid of that little piece of property is one more nail in the coffin. I seriously believe that one day Glenwood will go through. The traffic is just going to be horrible in that corner. I really also believe that you can have a park and a thoroughfare there. Let's see, where was I? Yes. Putting a park there in front instead of a thoroughfare. That's what happens when parks departments and neighborhood associations design roads instead of engineers. 15 years ago, the engineers said we need to push this through. This road needs to go through. We have a serious bottleneck here. There's accidents on Cole and Mountain View every day. It's common sense. And like I say, I think we can have both. And has ACHD been out recently and did any kind of survey on that particular bottleneck I'm talking about? Coming up Glenwood, quite often the traffic will back up all the way down across Chinden to get up that hill and make the corner on Mountain View, go a quarter mile to turn back onto Cole Road. And like I say, this is when neighborhood associations design roads instead of engineers. Okay, so I think you should keep this on the table. It's just a matter of time. You know, what are you going to do? Think of it like this instead. What are you going to do in 5 years when you say, we have a serious issue. We have a serious bottleneck now. Well, let's go buy up all the houses on Mountain View so we can straighten that out. Because when we had the chance to do it, somebody had a park there. Somebody's a little, you know, somebody's not thinking about what's best for the city, what's best for the right-of-ways. No, we want this glorious park. So, like I say, as someone else brought up last time, who remembers when they punched Curtis and Benton's Parkway through? Remember that, when they went up the hill? Let's just put 2 lanes in, because that's what the neighborhood association wants. Well, you listen to the neighborhood association instead of the engineers. A year later, well, we got to redo the whole road because single lane was stupid. So listen to your engineers, not the Parks Department, okay? And yes, I object to getting rid of this. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Did that
Ritchie.
answer your question a little bit? Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Commissioner
Madam President?
Yes, I have one. And this is probably for Diane or maybe Justin. Is there any right of way left through that park for a road?
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie.
Good afternoon, Madam President, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Justin Lucas. I'm the Deputy Director of Planning and Project Management here at the Highway District. There is, to answer your question, Commissioner Goldthorpe, Madam President, there is no right-of-way that extends through the Spalding Ranch park development.
That's what I thought.
So there's no, ACHD has preserved no right-of-way through the park development property.
Okay, thank you. Any other?
Madam President?
Go ahead. Just one moment, Mr. Ritchie. Commissioner Pickering?
Thanks, Madam President. Mr. Ritchie, I just want to say thank you for coming up. I do want to answer and speak to a couple of the questions and concerns that you had about Glenwood, and I just want to affirm with you that I completely agree about how dangerous that section of road is. And as such, I've worked with and been talking with a lot of neighbors along that corridor that you live on. And we have done some things we have worked with BPD, we have done traffic and speed studies. We're currently looking into traffic calming, the intersections, and that whole corridor are in our integrated 5-year work plan. So we are moving forward to make it safer because it is so dangerous. Because that's what we have and that's what we have to work with. Because like Mr. Lucas just shared, there is no right of way. So we're trying to make what we currently have in existence the safest possible use for the residents that live there. So completely agree with your sentiments, and hopefully we'll come to some better solution in the near future with a better corridor.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Real quick, does everybody know where that land came from? How we acquired it? This is a story I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you know more about it. A realtor supposedly bought that land once upon a time. He didn't even want that property. He wanted some property on Overland. They did a land swap for that property for property on Overland. That's how the city or the county, whoever, ended up with it. Somewhere along the line, instead of punching Glenwood through like they originally planned on, somebody got it put on the Federal Historic Register. Once again, this is where parks people designing roads instead of engineers. And now, Ms. Pickering, we have now we have a problem. Now it's gonna cost a lot of money to do something else. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ritchie. All right, Diane, do you have some comments or anything that was
No,
presented?
Madam President, that's
Okay.
the conclusion of my
Is-
presentation.
all right, is there anybody else that signed up, Zoom or, okay, no, anyone in the audience? All right, no, so you have nothing further to add, no further questions for Diane? All right, then I will go ahead and close the public hearing. Okay, thank you, commissioners, you have this before you.
Madam President, I would move to adopt resolution 2385, vacation of the public right of way to the city of Boise.
All right, there's a motion.
I will second the motion. I'd like to make a comment on the motion.
We'll move to discussion. Commissioner McKinney?
Right, I'm not certain that the wisdom, looking back at what has been done in the past, I'm not sure was the wisest course. Given that we don't currently have any right-of-way through this property to do anything, and there aren't currently any plans to do anything, this piece of, vacating this piece of right-of-way will only add a small amount to if something is changed in the future. If in the future a decision is made to connect Cole Road with Glenwood, according to the earlier plan, it's gonna cost a lot. We'll have to go back and repurchase this piece of property, but we'll have to purchase a whole lot more and probably do more anyway. looking at it, it's not clear that that's ever actually going to happen. Nevertheless, I think at the present time, it's not a big, the more I talk, the more I'm not even sure myself. But it seems like it's going to cost a lot. If we change our mind in the future, it's going to cost a lot no matter what we do. So we would have to go back to this in the future. But for the present, it makes sense to go ahead and vacate this parcel.
Okay. I would agree. I think there might have been a missed opportunity at the time. Back. Do you have anything to add, Commissioner Goldthorpe? All right, we have a motion before us. Commissioners, I will go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Commissioner Pickering, did you?
I did, I said aye.
Aye, okay, all right, so motion passes. Thank you. All right, the next item, resolution number 2384, vacation of public right-of-way for BVA Rolling Hills Number 1 LLC on a portion of Rolling Hills Drive in Meridian, Idaho. This is thank you. This is another request for adoption, and it is also a public hearing, so I will go ahead and open the public hearing. Ms.
Thank you, Madam
Bevins.
President. Commissioners, again, Diane Bevins, Manager of Capital Projects, for the record. Thank you. This is a public hearing and decision briefing for vacation of public right-of-way. ACHD received an application from BVA Rolling Hills Number 1. The vacation area is 1.299 acres. We have received the application fee. The appraised value of the property is approximately $396,000. This vacation is required through a development application that was approved by ACHD in January. Here is the vicinity map with I-84 to the north and Overland Road is to the south. The Top Golf development is just to the left or to the west of this to give you an idea of where we're at. And here's more of a close-up view. I do want to note that Development Services is working closely with the applicant and the neighborhood to construct a safe turnaround since at the terminus of where this vacation is on the south end. And I will note that a member of the public has brought up a concern about the noticing of this, where the platted name is Rolling Hill Drive with no S on a hill, and all of our staff reports and noticing had Rolling Hills Drive with an S on the end. So I just wanted to note that for the record. And here's an exhibit of the potential development in this area with the site noted there in yellow. And staff recommendation is to adopt and sign resolution number 2384, authorizing the proposed vacation and public right-of-way as applicants have completed all commission and staff requirements. And I will stand for any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Bevins before we have the applicant speak to us? All right, seeing none, thank you. Welcome. You can please state your name and address for our record, please.
Commissioners, good afternoon. My name is John Wardle. My address is 2929 West Navigator Drive, Meridian, Idaho 83642. On behalf of BVA and Brighton, which is BVA Rolling Hills Number 1, we have made the request for a vacation of Rolling Hill Drive. This, as you've noted, and it's within the report, it was anticipated to occur. There were development applications provided to the city of Meridian for these parcels to be developed, but one of the requirements in both Meridian's approval and ACHE's approval was the vacation of this right-of-way. And it was noted as well that this was to be a separate application. It did not run concurrent at the time when ACHD adopted the staff report back in early January. It is important for this to be vacated, as the development that will occur here will no longer access this road. There's a requirement for a terminus, suitable terminus at the end of Rolling Hill, so that the public road can be maintained, but also that the turnaround can be provided. But the area that's shown here in front of you to the north will all be vacated, and that's the purpose of this hearing. happy to answer any questions you have. I know there was a question regarding the noticing of this. I will note that there was also provided with this a legal description. The legal description truly is what is being vacated, that property that's legally defined. It is not uncommon that there be Scrivener errors on plats, even that are recorded, that have to be corrected. Happy to also have Mr. Peterson, who is representative of BVA, to come up and talk about that point if you would like to discuss that further. But as to the nature of the vacation that's in front of you, again, we have gone through this process, submitted applications, have provided the appraisal before you, and are complying with the conditions that were in the original staff report of January 10th, 2022.
All right, thank you very much, John. I would like to have Mr. Peterson come up, and since we did get a notice from someone about the discrepancy there, so if you could address that for us, that would be great.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Commissioner and distinguished commission members. Again, my name is Ton Peterson. I'm the Chief Development Officer and Legal Counsel for BVA. I would implore the commission to adhere to the...
I'm sorry, sir, if you could just state your address.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yep, I'm sorry. 2775 West Navigator Drive, Suite 220, Meridian, Idaho. Thank you. I would direct the commission's attention to the unambiguous provisions of Idaho Code 40203. Those provisions are clear and they're unambiguous. Per 40203.1, and specifically D, E, and F, notice of the hearing today is required. Notice of mailing to affected property owners is required. Both of those components have been satisfied. Notice does not necessarily mean under the code, under the explicit provisions of the code, notice does not require describing the property by the plat. But the notice does have to have a legal description. And so our notice does, in fact, as Mr. Wardle has indicated, it has a legal description. Notice was properly given to the affected property owners as prescribed by Idaho by 40-2031 D, E, and F. There was a notice. It was mailed properly by the commission as stated in the code. There was either noticed or actual notice, evidenced by the fact that the resident who brought a concern about it stating Rolling Hills as opposed to Rolling Hill is actually watching and had actual notice. So I think we need not drift from the provisions of the code itself. Those have been met. Notice or actual notice. At the 11th hour, and that's completely, that's fine, but at the 11th hour, in fact, 15 minutes before this hearing, we're notified that a concern was raised that notice was not proper because it's with an S and without the S, except the one person raising that concern has been noticed and they're here. So I have been a licensed practicing attorney for almost 20 years. I absolutely recognize the importance of adhering to the code provisions that are set forth. We cannot deviate from those. There has to be order and there has to be rule and there has to be law. And as I have explained today, the notice has been explicitly set forth in the code and explicitly followed by Brighton and BVA. This project has, in addition to that, the last comment I would make is that the vacation of this right-of-way has been the topic of discussion at city council meetings. I mean, this has been an ongoing discussion for over 18 months. So it's not a surprise that we're here. I think, and I don't want to go on the record staying a specific hearing, but we're on at least a half a dozen hearings regarding this particular topic, and this is the culmination of that. We have projects that are going forth. Timing is critical. It's been wonderful to work with the ACHD and the other jurisdictions, and so I would again implore the commission to adhere to the explicit provisions as set forth in 4203. Those have been adhered to here, and I stand for questions.
I appreciate that clarification. So then, Mr. Peterson, the noticing was done per code. There's no issue there that all those.
That is correct.
That was all followed. There's no discrepancy in the legal description.
That is correct.
And the impacted party has been involved and is here.
That is correct.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any other questions?
Yes. I'm just curious, all these other hearings that occurred at the city level, did not the city attorney pick this up at all?
Wonderful question, Commissioner Goldthorpe. And that's sort of the point that I'm trying to make it. And not only that, but with all due respect, the ACHD staff report also didn't pick it up. Because that's not the folks, what's required is the legal description, and that's the code as set forth in 4203 is, as Mr. Wardle pointed out, there are Scribner's errors as it relates to plats, and that's not ideal, but it's not uncommon. And so because of that very point, the focus is on the legal description because that's the legal mechanism by which affected parties are noticed. So to answer your question, to my knowledge, and I will stand to be corrected by Mr. Wardle if my knowledge doesn't serve me accurately, I do not believe that the city attorney or anyone until 10 minutes ago has raised this issue.
And it's good to know that there's no discrepancy and the legal description is accurate. So I do appreciate that. Commissioner Hanson, did you have a comment?
No, I
question?
just
No?
did.
Okay.
Is the person
Commissioner McKinney?
going to speak up?
No more? Okay. Do we have anyone here to testify on this or anybody else? Mr. Wardle, did you have anything else you wanted to add? No? Okay. All right. Commissioner
Madam President,
McKinney?
I think is our general counsel here to give us some advice on
Yes.
this? I think that would be
There
helpful.
he is. He's not in his usual seat. Welcome, Mr. Price. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Okay. Commissioner McKinney?
Please, would you respond to the comments that have been made by the applicant?
For the record, Steve Price, General Counsel. Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, you most certainly made a cogent argument as to that particular defect. Whether they provided the notice and the extent they most certainly did comply with that, going forward, there is a risk that the notice may have been defective just by this Scribner error, if you will. And going forward, somebody could challenge the vacation on that basis. It isn't whether they provided notice. The problem is that the notice may have been defective because we're here today to vacate a platted street, and the name on the plat is Rolling Hill Drive, not Rolling Hills Drive. And to that extent, the notice may have been defective.
So if, so worst case scenario, if we were to approve this vacation here today, a property owner or really any citizen could challenge the vacation on the ground that the notice was insufficient.
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, that is correct.
And that's the only possibility.
Yes.
And what would happen in that case, or what could happen?
The applicant would then be required to reapply.
Okay, so the danger here is, there's really no danger to us, it would seem. The danger is to the applicant.
That is correct.
So if we were to approve the vacation here today, the applicant could have a problem later on.
Potentially, yes.
And if we didn't approve it today and deferred it, and we have to notice again and go through the process, the applicant suffers the damage of some delay.
That is correct.
So it sounds like really this is a situation where the applicant can kind of choose their poison, it sounds like. Do they want to have some delay now, or do they want to risk a potential problem later?
And I can't testify to that.
Seems to me but seems to me those are the alternatives, right?
That is.
Okay. Then it seems to me, Madam President, that we ought to let the applicant
Yeah, I think
address
they're
that issue.
conferring.
I have a
and-
question for Steve.
Yeah, Mr. Price, Commissioner
I
Hanson.
just want to confirm, Mr. Peterson said Idaho Code 42031 required a legal description, and the legal description was accurate. Is that correct?
Well, and I've got the code, and I cannot find that in the code, and maybe he can. I'm doing
Maybe he
this-
can find it. He said D, E, and F.
those,
Yeah.
and I
You
can't
can't.
seem to find where it requires the legal description, that may be part of our policy, but maybe you can show me. I can't
Make sure
see
the
it.
legal description is accurate and the person actually had actual notice.
Requirement to publish the legal description. And I'm
Was
looking at the
published.
provisions that he cited, unless he can point it out.
Madam President,
Commissioner Goldhart?
so would it be possible for us to take care of this within the next week?
No,
Did you have to renotice?
we would have to renotice it, and it would be an extensive delay, potentially up to 6 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
If we could have Mr. Peterson come back up,
Or Mr. Wardle.
or Mr. Wardle.
Madam Chair, can we have just a couple of minutes?
Joe, how about we take a 10-minute break?
That'd be great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
For the record, my name is John Wardle, with Brighton, representing BVA Rolling Hills number 1. Talking through it, we would like the commission to act on this application today.
All right.
And move forward with the vacation process as we have addressed the requirements within ACHG's vacation process and policy, and we would like you to go ahead and act on this tonight.
All right, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wardle. And we do not have anyone signed up, so Ms. Bevins, do you have any further comment?
Madam President, no further comment.
All right, thank you very much. Then I will go ahead and close the public hearing. And commissioners, you now have this item before you.
Madam President,
Commissioner Goldthorpe.
I would move that we adopt resolution number 2384, vacation of public right-of-way for BVA Rolling Hills number 1 LLC on a portion of Rolling Hill Drive, Meridian, Idaho. Can't change their company name, but I can clarify the street name.
We got that one in there. Is there a second?
I'll second that, and let me add, if I may, we should, I believe, I don't know if it needs to be part of the motion, but in any case, as a commission, we need to acknowledge that the typographical error that has been mentioned, as a commission, we can view that as de minimis and not standing in the way of our making a decision today.
I would agree to that. All right. We have a motion
Yes.
and a second. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. All right, that takes us down to public communications. Do we have anybody signed up or in the audience? All right, seeing none, then we will stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.